Thanks for your support as a channel member, Germat7046. Paul Aron came through a crazy race in Las Vegas last time out to win the race and take the championship lead back with 2 rounds to go. PulsePotato was destroyed twice in that race and he failed to finish. He's got some catching up to do. Today, we complete the season and crown a brand new champion of Formula One. Hello folks and welcome to a brand new episode of F1 Manager Create A Team here with AHGP. We are approaching the final 2 rounds of the season. Let's have a look at what we've got left. We've got a sprint weekend in China and then we head to Suzuka, a classic end of season venue. History tells us it has decided many titles: 1989, 1990, 98, 99. The list goes on. So let's, without further ado, let's have a look at the Drivers' Championship. Paul Aron, 413 points. PulsePotato, 404 points, despite 2 more race wins than his teammate this season. But that one DNF, absolutely crucial because, yeah, it cost him 25 points to his teammate and the championship lead. Paul Aron, of course, is leaving us next season for Sauber. Now, I have secured his replacement, but I'm going to hold on to telling you who it is until the start of Season 4. So what I want you to do is guess right now in the predictions, who have I signed for Season 4 with AHGP? Who is Paul Aron's replacement? But what we need to find out first is, will Paul Aron have the number 1 on his car? Or will PulsePotato have the number 1 on his car in Season 4? So let's get to China and start that process, I suppose. Straight into the action then. The sprint race in Shanghai. We've got 4 and 5 red lights. The lights are out. The race is on. We start 5th and 7th. Paul Aron in P5. PulsePotato in 7th, but not for long. He's looking to go forwards and he's trying to go around the outside of Carlos Sainz. He might just be able to do it. Yeah, that's a good line from the young man, and he pinches the inside for turn 3. I think they call that. I would say that's turn 2, but that is 6th position for PulsePotato. Obviously, there's a few points on offer in this race. So, yeah, PulsePotato diving down the inside and taking P5 from his teammate. That's a crucial move for his championship hopes. We are the only team starting on the soft compound tyre because if you go light, you will be able to extend the life of the tyre and you should stay in a close enough state to be able to make overtakes. We've got Lando Norris ahead of us, then there's Hamilton, Leclerc and Verstappen. So PulsePotato making moves. He is not messing around. He wants to put right the wrongs of Las Vegas. DRS is now online and both our drivers have found their way past Lando Norris. PulsePotato chasing down Hamilton and now Leclerc because the Ferrari has moved into 2nd place. But our drivers are making good progress. We have a very strong car around this circuit. Our qualifying performance didn't do it justice. I'm guessing the drivers maybe just got a little bit tight in sprint qualifying. I simulated it, so I have no idea what happened. But they're doing the business on track right now, 4th and 5th. And yeah, the AI seems to be wearing through their medium tyres quicker than we're going through our softs because we're looking after them. So yeah, we might still win this one. PulsePotato has moved himself up into 3rd place ahead of Charles Leclerc. He's now got DRS on the 2 Ferraris. For a guy who started in 7th place, if he was to win the sprint, that would be a mightily impressive achievement. He's going round the outside of Verstappen. That. Get the claps in the comments, please. He's now leading the race. PulsePotato is a man on a mission. He's just gone from 7th to 1st in 5 laps and 1 corner. Let's have another look at this Hamilton overtake because I was too busy applauding the first one. DRS and just blasting through. Fantastic stuff. And Paul Aron is still in 5th place, I think. 4th place now. He's just passed Leclerc and he is now going to be on the back of the Ferraris as well. Our tyre wear is so superior, we might just have this in the bag. So we are now first and second. Paul Aron has found his way past the pair of Ferraris. And there he goes around the outside of Max Verstappen. But the Dutchman is probably still in DRS range. So, no, he's not. We've already dropped him. We've got yellow flags out. That's for people much further back than we are. So it's of no concern to us. How's Justin doing? He is in 16th. Sandwiched between Albon and Russell. So, yeah, he's having a good old scrap there. Battery empty for Paul Aron. And now he's 2 seconds behind his teammate with 8 laps to go. Well, not much has happened since we got to first and second. We've just ticked off the laps and PulsePotato wins the sprint race. Followed home by his teammate Paul Aron, who allows his teammate to do minimal damage to his title lead. The lead comes down to 8 points, and with qualifying up next, that's going to be a very important section. It will shape how the Grand Prix will look and the state of play heading into the final round. It's all swung again. Paul Aron has secured pole position for the Chinese Grand Prix. PulsePotato on the first runs was fastest, but as you'll see in the clip now, that the pair of them were very close together on their final run because of a spin for Oscar Piastri, which brought out yellow flags, which meant they were super close together. And yeah, Paul Aron did a great job. PulsePotato got a purple final sector because he got a massive toe down the back straight, but he got held up through the middle sector, which meant he wasn't able to improve. So, first and third for our drivers. Medium, hard, medium strategy for the pair. I think that's quite straightforward. We will head straight to the grid, I suppose, and get this Grand Prix underway. If in the edit it's like a really short sort of cut, you know, there's not a huge amount happened, but yeah, let's see how this goes and what the state of play is heading to Japan. All right, here we go again. We've got a McLaren on the front row alongside us. I'm assuming that's Charles Leclerc. 5 red lights. The lights are out, the race is on. That funky, weird zoom out in China returns, and off we go. Is Leclerc getting up the inside on his soft tyres? He is. And Verstappen on a set of hards up the inside of PulsePotato. But he showed in the sprint that you can go around the outside and make it work, and he's doing exactly that. He retains third place. Paul Aron regains advantage of the lead, and PulsePotato is really going to chase down Charles Leclerc now. He needs to win this race to give himself a chance. Well, he's got a chance of winning even if he finishes behind Paul Aron, but it would just be easier for him if he finished ahead of him. Paul Aron would be looking to do exactly the same. So it's almost winner take all at this point, but not quite. Lap 6 then, start of lap 6, and our drivers are now line astern on the track, but they're not in the lead, although Paul Aron has just redressed that. He's put a Verstappen between himself and PulsePotato. He's in second place. Leclerc on his soft tyres has come through for the lead, but he's not escaped because the softs are absolutely terrible around this circuit. They just fall apart, and we are closing back in on the McLaren. PulsePotato also looking after his tyres, biding his time. Verstappen's used more of his hards than we have of our mediums, and he's only in between us. And PulsePotato might even be able to find a way through here with some DRS assistance. Open goes the flap, and past goes the potato. Job done, and that is P3 for him. And now we are first and second in this race. PulsePotato, same as he did with Verstappen, DRS, down the inside into the hairpin. Lovely jubbly. Paul Aron had not long before passed the McLaren on the pit straight. So we are first and second. Leclerc on our tail thanks to DRS, but I'm sure through the middle sector he will fall back. And now it's almost a straight head-to-head fight. I don't think the other teams have what it takes to match us strategically, because we'll be on hards and be able to push them. They're already falling apart with their hards and their softs and whatever else they've got on. So we're in a really strong position here. Lap 18, PulsePotato into the pit lane, avoiding the Hamilton-esque misjudgment as he enters the pit area, and he greets his pit crew, presents the car nicely. They vanish to go and get Paul Aron's tyres because he is in on the next lap. It's a 1 lap undercut for PulsePotato. He had dropped to about 3 seconds behind his teammate. Paul Aron slightly quicker in that opening phase of the race. Very consistent in the mid to low 141s. PulsePotato was in the 41s. He had a couple of laps in the 42s though, so he lost some ground there. Let's deploy the battery and see what he can achieve. Paul Aron on his way to his pit stop now. Let's see how it goes. Bringing him in a lap earlier so he doesn't get too exposed to his teammate. 2.1 second stop. Where's PulsePotato? Coming down the pit lane, pit straight now. Let's ride on board with him. Where is Paul Aron? I think Paul Aron is already at the pit exit. There he is, yeah. So he's gained about a second, just over. And Charles Leclerc has undercut us, but he's already destroyed his hard tyres. He's only had them on 9 laps. He got 11 laps out of the softs. He's on like a 4-stop strategy, I think, is Charles. McLaren hired the Ferrari strategist people, and it's blowing up in their faces. PulsePotato is lining up another overtake on Max Verstappen. He's not quite close enough here. That's close enough now to affect an overtake. Let's see if he can get it done on the pit straight. Paul Aron has opened up a 3.5 second gap on Verstappen, which is about 4 seconds on PulsePotato, who still can't get past the Dutchman. We are controlling our tyre temperatures by avoiding the high-risk curbs with both drivers. So when you go aggressive on the hards, they still get really hot, especially if you're stuck behind another driver like PulsePotato is. So we're going to get him to also drive in clean air. See if we can get this pass done at the bare minimum with DRS, and I think that's how it's going to be, as George Russell sets a fastest lap in 17th place. I don't know what strategies everybody else is on, but are we close enough here? Still not close enough. Right, PulsePotato, I'm just going to take you off the avoid high risk curbs for now, and that's probably going to make all the difference. He gets a better run out of the final corner, and that is second place. He's got 3.5 seconds to make up though, and Paul Aron has looked very comfortable in this race. He's driving very well. Okay, it is time for our second stops for both drivers, and we're actually going to be double stacking. So Paul Aron is heading in. This is an optimal pit stop lap anyway. I think PulsePotato was a lap or two later. So let's see how this goes. If Paul Aron has a bad stop, it's going to screw PulsePotato. 2.3 seconds stop. Lovely stuff. And the boys in the pit lane have delivered 2 outstanding stops, and we are ahead of Verstappen with both drivers. So the Ferrari hasn't managed to undercut us. We're now going to be able to put the hammer down, but PulsePotato is 3.7 seconds behind his teammate. So that he's not looked really like he's able to close him down today. It's just not worked for him. Having lost that pole position yesterday in qualifying, he's just not looked like he's had the sort of oomph about him that he had in the sprint, where he was taking no prisoners. It's just not worked out for him today in terms of his pace. And it looks like Paul Aron is going to move on to a win. Oh, Justin's retired. Williams sabotage once again. They've put dodgy parts in his car and they've gone pop. And also, PulsePotato under pressure from Verstappen here. Is he about to lose second place? Yes, he is. DRS for the Dutchman round the outside. Potato fights it though and fends off the Ferrari, well, for a moment, but then has to concede. So let's harvest his battery, juice that up, and then he can go again. It's taken a bit longer than expected, but PulsePotato has got himself back into second place. This is a helmet cam view of that overtake, but it's cost him a couple of seconds to Paul Aron. The gap is now nearly 6 seconds. Paul Aron has this race well under control. He is dominating this race. He's not letting his teammate have even a sniff of victory. And for a driver who looked like he was letting the championship get away from him a couple of episodes ago, he's delivered a very accomplished drive today. Yes, he had a lot of fortune with PulsePotato having a smashing time in Vegas, but Paul Aron could easily have been messed up in some of that himself. He didn't, just through some good fortune there, bad fortune for PulsePotato, but he is driving beautifully this afternoon. And if he wins this race, he would have I'll do some quick maths, I think it's a 15-point lead heading into the final race. So PulsePotato would need to win, and Paul Aron would have to finish 5th or worse, and PulsePotato would then be able to take the championship by virtue of having won more races. So there's a lot on the line here. PulsePotato 5 seconds back. Looks like this could be a championship defining result. There's Paul Aron lapping a Williams, or is he lapping the Williams? No, Ricciardo's not getting out of his way, but it doesn't matter. It's the final lap. He's reached the final corner. He's built an 8.2 second lead. He's been absolutely fantastic in this race, and he extends his championship lead back up to 18 points. Paul Aron wins for AHGP and takes a massive step towards becoming world champion.
Fantastic race pace.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Bono. Fantastic race pace indeed for Paul Aron. He beats PulsePotato fair and square.
Into the pit lane.
Beat him in qualifying, beat him on race day. And PulsePotato has to win, and Paul Aron has to finish 5th or worse in Japan for PulsePotato to take the championship. Obviously, it could work out different ways depending on where Paul Aron finishes, but that is the bare minimum that PulsePotato needs. Right, we are preparing for the final qualifying session of the season. Paul Aron versus PulsePotato. 15 points the difference. Wet tyres to start with because we've got rain for qualifying and we're expecting rain in the race. So each driver's adaptability rating is going to be crucial. I checked beforehand and Paul Aron has 90 out of 100. PulsePotato 87 out of 100. So yeah, they're pretty handy in the wet. PulsePotato may be slightly worse off potentially than his teammate, but let's see how qualifying goes. I'll simulate the first two and then I'll play Q3 and I'll show you that live. So yeah, let's see how things go. Hopefully they both get to Q3. Yep, successfully both into Q3, and we're back on to the wet tyres as well. So let's put 2 laps of fuel in, and we'll not do any cooldown laps so that we can do back-to-back push laps on used wet tyres, and then we'll see how we fare from there. But let's get this final Q3 session of the season underway. What's the weather suggesting it will do? It's going to dry up actually, so we send our drivers out basically immediately and let's see what they can do. This is how I play Q3 off camera. I just times 16 it. I get the sectors up so I can see who's doing what. And let's see. Paul Aron has run a bit wide at the first corner. But these aren't the laps that are really going to matter, because if the track is drying, then we will be on the inters anyway towards the end of the session. PulsePotato 6/10 quicker than his teammate. Track now damp. Let's do this second run. See if we've got any improvements. PulsePotato, I think we ran out of battery actually. PulsePotato was going faster in the first 2 sectors, so that tallies. Let's get back to the pit lane and stick some inters on these cars. We might need some inters in the Grand Prix as well. We want just 1 lap of fuel in each car. And weirdly, this is a weird glitch like within the game. When it rains in qualifying, not everybody goes out. I don't know what's... Oh, hi Justin in Q3. I didn't even notice that. There we go. Justin's in Q3. Hopefully he gets sent out for a lap. Here they go. They're all going out now. Justin's out for Q3. Hooray! His final race for Williams before he goes to Mercedes. Right. Hulkenberg is now setting the pace. Let's send our drivers with a couple of minutes left. And we will observe their final runs. Will they make the flag? Oh, PulsePotato didn't make the flag. I sent him out too late. Hulkenberg has gone fastest. Paul Aron is now setting the timing screens alight. PulsePotato has missed the flag by about a second. And do we box Paul Aron here? Hamilton, Pourchaire goes fastest, just into the front row. PulsePotato is going to have a lot of work to do. Verstappen to the top of the times, but Paul Aron, I think, is going to obliterate the lot of them. PulsePotato will be 7th at worst. Paul Aron has just actually... I was watching the wrong car. Paul Aron has just gone fastest. In all of that mayhem, Paul Aron has taken pole position. PulsePotato will start 7th. Justin will start 3rd because Pourchaire's got a penalty. Go on, Justin. It's wet throughout the race, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how this plays out. Paul Aron starts from pole position. PulsePotato starts 6th thanks to Pourchaire's penalty. We've got PulsePotato stopping a little bit later, and he can push on the inters in the second half of the race. But remember, Paul Aron was going very well here last year in his debut, first full debut season for us, and he crashed when probably on course for a point or two at the time. So he's got some amends to make. Will he be returning and becoming world champion? Let's find out. It's all down to this. Winner takes all, essentially, but PulsePotato must win from 6th, and Paul Aron can afford to finish in the top 4, and it will be absolutely fine for him. Let's get this title decider underway. It's a bit murky, and we can just about see the lights. We can barely see the cars. We've got 5 red lights. The lights throughout the race is on. Paul Aron going from pole position gets a good start. Justin with a decent start. He's going around the outside of Verstappen. Here comes Justin for 2nd. Can't do it. Can't do it. PulsePotato up into 5th place. He would be wishing that the order of the cars is reversed right now, but it is not. And we are underway for this race. PulsePotato needs to make more progress than he's made, but he's made a good step in the right direction. He's made another step in the right direction, hasn't he? Because he's just look at the extra traction. Just destroyed Hamilton in the traction zone, the second phase of it as well. And he moves into 4th position, and he's now up against Justin. Will Justin be kind to him? Fellow championship, fellow channel member, but he hasn't allowed PulsePotato through yet. We can push with the engines because they won't be needed after this race. Paul Aron has actually got a slightly worse off engine, so yeah, the wet weather will be helping him. It won't be stressing the power unit quite as much. Justin is starting to hold up PulsePotato. He needs to find a way through. Oh, that's PulsePotato side by side with Justin, and he takes 3rd place. But all this time it's taken him to get past the Williams. He's lost, what, 5.5 seconds to Paul Aron, who's just serenely leading away at the front. Well, he's got Verstappen with him. And, yeah, if he stays where he is, he will be world champion, and we will be delighted for him. We'll be annoyed that he's taking the number 1 away with him, because we would love to have the number 1 on our car. But we will still have a world champion on our books. PulsePotato doing everything he can to close the gap. Maybe if we go aggressive on the tyres for a bit, just pick up the pace and see what we can achieve. The track is drying out a bit. Wonder if it will get to a point where we can use slicks, but then it's going to spike again and then drop. It's going to be one of those annoying races where it never really properly dries out. But the question is now, can PulsePotato catch Verstappen and Paul Aron? The track has become dry, which means DRS is now active. Paul Aron is deploying battery to basically stop Verstappen overtaking him. He's used a little bit more tyre than the Dutchman. PulsePotato struggling to catch them up, though. That weekend in Vegas has basically ruined everything that he hoped for in this season. He was set to win the World Championship. That weekend has completely undone his chances, really, because yeah, he would have lost points in China and he'd lost points today, but I don't think it would have been enough of a swing for him to have lost the championship, especially if he'd finished like 5th or 6th in that race. He'd have probably worked his way forwards anyway. So there's still a long way to go in this race. Paul Aron could have some sort of issue and it could all change. But at the moment, that's looking like the really big turning point of this championship as Paul Aron loses the lead to Max Verstappen. We don't want Verstappen to win this race. We want to win this race. So pull your finger out, Paul, and get after him. Right, time for us to return the favour on Max Verstappen. Here we go. DRS is open. The track is starting to get a bit wetter again. And we return to P1. PulsePotato now 8 seconds behind this pair. And yeah, what he needs is Verstappen to do him a favour and probably put Paul Aron either on the grass or in the wall. Although I wouldn't appreciate that because I don't really want my car in 1,000 pieces. But for PulsePotato, thinking selfishly, he will want something to happen to Paul Aron. Justin was having a great little race. And then he did that. No Williams sabotage there. That's all on Justin. And then, he has to wait to re-enter the road. Signal mirror manoeuvre back onto the racetrack. And he returns in 14th. Sadly for Justin, that's his error. Paul Aron and Max Verstappen are having quite the scrap in this race. Verstappen got back through with DRS when the track dried out a few laps ago. And he built something of a 2-second lead. But with a bit of ERS deployment, we have closed that gap back down. And they've just left PulsePotato behind. He's too quick for everyone behind him, but he's not quick enough to stay with these two, who just seem to be in a league of their own. And yeah, Paul Aron he doesn't need to do anything. He doesn't have to overtake Verstappen. I'm sure he just wants to win the race. So he can win it and become world champion with victory. Is he going to go for the move here? He's not close enough. And he doesn't have enough battery. There's not really anything happening in this race at the moment. Truth be told, it's just Verstappen versus Aron. Justin had his spin. It's just a bit dull at the moment for a title decider. Unfortunately, there's not really much more I can do apart from, deliberately sabotaging Paul Aron's race and giving PulsePotato a chance. But I think that would be... I don't think that would be sort of fair to the integrity of the game and the save. So we'll just leave it as is. And Paul Aron, if he wins the championship, he's the deserving champion. So, yeah, we want a world champion, and that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, copy.
Right, we have reached the sort of mid-race point where pit stops are going to happen. We're going back onto another set of inters. Let's get both our drivers pushing, and we'll call them both to the pit lane because there's so much time between them. We can afford to do that. Verstappen has already stopped, and he pops out 3.5 seconds behind PulsePotato. I'm really annoyed by this because there's nothing happening in this race. It's not an exciting race to play. This is half the problem with wet races on this game. Not a lot tends to happen. They can be a bit dull, which is annoying as hell for a championship decider. But that's racing, unfortunately. Paul Aron to the pit lane. Unless he has a bad stop that costs him several seconds, I don't see how this is going to be impacted. It's a fantastic 2.1 second stop for him, and in comes PulsePotato. Yellow flags, and they're gone. 2.0 seconds for PulsePotato. Outstanding work from the pit crew, and PulsePotato returns to the track in P4. Well, here's something to show you. PulsePotato has caught and passed Lando Norris, who hasn't stopped yet and is nursing a mechanical issue, but that is a beautiful move, sweeping around the outside. Might not be the rookie championship, but he's given us some fantastic moments this season. Oh, Verstappen with a mechanical fault. Is that going to be slowing him down? Hopefully, and hopefully Paul Aron can get within touching distance and more and get himself back into the lead. He's now 15 seconds ahead of his teammates, so yeah, PulsePotato is just going around and hoping that something bad happens to Paul Aron, but he's doing a wonderful job right now and is just easing himself into the history books as a Formula One world champion.
So VSC.
We've got a virtual safety car.
So
Verstappen has now also got a worsening mechanical fault. I love how it just shows you a replay of the car going along the road. PulsePotato, could we box you for fresh inters? Would that be wise? I'm not sure. It's Ollie Behrman who's caused the virtual safety car. Where is PulsePotato? He's at the hairpin. Hamilton is just coming to the Degners. He'd lose less time, but he'd be so far behind the leaders. He needs a full safety car to get himself back in contention. So nothing we can do here for him really that would help his chances. But yeah, there's nothing we can do. Paul Aron is right on the gearbox of Max Verstappen, and we are pushing with everything we've got to find a way through. He's looking this way and that as we enter the spoon curve. 10 laps remain of this race and this World Championship. Paul Aron is looking to seal his first ever world title with victory. And what better way than beating the current reigning world champion Max Verstappen as we go through on the inside. Paul Aron. Oh, I almost spoke too soon. I almost spoke too soon. And it's not P1. PulsePotato's just done the fastest lap. We did push and deploy and we're going aggressive. So the pace has been there. We've just not been able to use it because we're trying to get the tyres to go the distance. Maybe we should have two-stopped with PulsePotato and just given him the option. Oh, Paul Aron down the inside for the lead of the race into Degner 1 and makes it stick through the second part of the corner. That is a bold overtake. Only one you'd probably see in the wet. You wouldn't see it in the dry. It's just much too quick into there. Bigger braking zone in the wet. Oh, Paul just sending it. Beautiful move. And that's the move of a champion. Max Verstappen's challenge has come to a skidding halt because he's had a spin.
Lost the rear completely.
Yeah, you can say that again. And it does bring PulsePotato to within 7 seconds of the Dutchman, and he's closing him down. He's going pretty quickly. He's got the fastest lap. He doesn't get a point for it, but yeah, he's giving it his best, is young PulsePotato, but he's just going to come up short. Paul Aron now 10 seconds in the lead and comfortably heading to a first Formula One World Championship. The rain is starting to fall slightly heavier again. We've got 4 laps to go. Unless Paul Aron has a mistake, it's in the bag. PulsePotato is right on the gearbox of Max Verstappen. If he can finish second, that's the very least he can do if Paul Aron is going to win the race. So let's harvest the battery. We'll watch the final lap and a half of this season. Paul Aron 15 seconds now in the lead. He's coming out of spoon curve. He's heading towards victory. We're going to attack with PulsePotato, get him really hustling the Ferrari, although Verstappen seems to have picked up his pace on this sort of back end of the lap. Paul Aron starts the final lap. This is the last lap he'll ever do not as a world champion. He has been incredible for this team. Yes, he's leaving. Yes, he'll be taking the number 1 to Sauber of all places, but I mean, he's done so much good for this team. He really helped us last year secure 6th in the championship. He's been fabulous at points this season. He has dipped in his form at points, but he's been fairly consistent. There's not been any errors, and that's the thing. He's kept himself out of trouble. He's not made any mistakes. Well, he made one mistake in Texas, didn't he? And that looked like it was going to cost him the World Championship. But he fought back in that race, and that was a really good recovery, an important recovery, because it meant that when bad luck befell PulsePotato, he could capitalise. That win in Vegas, critical. He's won the final 3 races of the season. PulsePotato has just taken 2nd place from Max Verstappen. But none of that matters because Paul Aron wins the Japanese Grand Prix and he is the world champion. AHGP, clean sweep. Let's watch this PulsePotato overtake. Add a spoon curve. Extra traction. All the power. and P2 for PulsePotato. We'll see him across the line as well. Is an AHGP 1-2 to finish off the season, and we just about hold off Verstappen. Paul Aron becomes world champion. Congratulations to him. Congratulations to everyone at the team. What a fantastic season it has been. I've just had a notification say, have a driver become the youngest ever world champion. So Paul Aron has beaten Max Verstappen, beaten Sebastian Vettel to becoming the youngest ever world champion with this victory from pole position. That missed checkered flag in qualifying really hurt PulsePotato. That's a team error that has cost him a chance at the victory. That said, he didn't have the pace in the opening stint once he got into P3. If he'd had the pace to go with to catch them, he'd have closed them down. But he didn't. And we couldn't push on the tyres. We should have gone at 2-stop for him. But then, you know, we can't favour one over the other like that. That would be a little bit unfair. Constructors' Championship, we break the 900 points barrier. And there you go. PulsePotato finishes second in his debut season. You know, a young British driver finishing second in their debut season. That happened in 2007. And that driver, Lewis Hamilton, went on to do some fantastic things. He's now at Ferrari. I wonder what he's going to be doing next in his career. Paul Aron, the new world champion, 470 points, wins it by 22 points in the end. 9 wins, matches PulsePotato's score there. Yeah, ends up with 8 pole positions. So, yeah, maybe Paul really was the deserving champion. So, yeah, obviously congratulations to him. Commiserations to PulsePotato, but he will be back next season going for glory again. But let me know, who do you think his teammate is going to be? So that's season 3 in the books, folks. We've managed to go from at the bottom to the middle, and now we are the top team in Formula One, and we have a world drivers champion, but he won't be driving for us next season, which is such a shame. Join me next time to find out who is PulsePotato's partner in crime as we take on the 2027 F1 season. I'll see you then. You're the best fans. It's bye for now.